The Niqabi Diary Season 1 illustrated book is now available in paperback. Own your copy now by clicking the link in the description box. Assalamu alaikum. You're listening to the Niqabi Diary series by The Pen, the sound of sisters raising their voices with the written word. I'm your host Samar, and thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister, how are you?
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm alhamdulillah, and yourself?
Alhamdulillah, very good. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for joining us today for this episode of By the Pen, the sound of sisters raising their voices with the written word. Sister, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and the book that you've written, inshallah?
Alhamdulillah. Bismillah. My name is Feeyola Dawood. I come from South Africa, small little town in South Africa, and I'm an educator. And I decided about 7 years ago that I'm bringing my family and moving abroad. So I'm now based in the UAE. I teach English in the UAE. And I'm a mom, single mom. I'm a mother-in-law. I'm a granny. So, yes. And I have written a book called Mothers Know, Pearls of Wisdom in a Forever Changing World. Basically, Mothers Know letters to my global daughters. So I'm introducing myself with this particular book, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, sister, can I ask you what inspired you to write this book?
Life experiences, and then also the fact that I do have a daughter. Mm-hmm. I do have a daughter, and I do have daughter-in-laws. And I am still a daughter. I was a daughter-in-law. So yes, it's a combination of all my life experiences that I decided this would do well with my daughter and my daughter-in-laws, and not only them, to basically everybody out there, you know. It was letters that I originally wrote to my daughter as she was growing up, and it became a little bit more prominent when she became into her own. And I wanted her to know, you know, you always have choices in life. It's how you choose. And an ideal opportunity came up when she had asked me for something, and I said, okay, this is a life lesson. I need to write it down for you, you know. And from there, everything that just came up, like I put pen to paper and I wrote a little bit about it, and I carried on writing and writing. And alhamdulillah, I've got a book of effective, yet subtle, yet, how else can I put it? Yes, okay, let me rephrase that. Subtle yet effective advice for my daughter.
MashaAllah, that's amazing. So how long did it take you to write?
It took me, just putting my raw notes down, you see, it took me a little bit of time. I would say probably a year, but effectively it took us like about 2 months to complete it, because I have been collecting the raw notes as life exposed itself.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
So as issues came about, and I penned it, and eventually during the COVID period, I said, right, this is it. And I met a fantastic woman, and via another fantastic woman. So it was via a Zoom meeting through another lady by the name of Athia Dudat. She had a Zoom meeting, and in that Zoom meeting, I met Nasreen, put my idea to Nasreen. She saw the bigger picture, and alhamdulillah, this is where we are today. Nasreen from Nasriology.
Allahumma barik. MashaAllah. Yes, Nasreen, yes. We've spoken to her earlier on. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah. Really amazing and lovely sister. Allahumma barik lah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. You know, I always say, like, you know, I just read this the other day, there's no coincidence with the Almighty, you know. He puts things in place for you to meet certain people in your life. And if I had not went into that particular Zoom meeting with Athia Dudat, I would not have met Nasreen. So Allah just knows there's always a time and a place for everything, alhamdulillah.
SubhanAllah. Amazing, mashallah. So, what is the main message that you would say you want to get across with this book?
You see, the thing is, coming from a very conservative country, I would say, and being Muslim also, sometimes there's a lot of controversial topics that we tend to just push under the mat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm not saying that, you know, you have to do it in a particular way or whatever it is, but it's nice to expose our daughters to certain things. Many of us went into life, into marriage, into motherhood, not knowing much. We didn't get the guidance that we probably would have loved to have, or the guidance that we are now able to give our daughters now. We didn't have it back then. So this is what I intended doing. I took like issues that girls, mothers, sisters, daughter-in-laws, mother-in-laws, everybody's experience right now, and I put it into the book. And I said, like, this is how you look at it. You're not obligated to take my advice, but it's there. The choices are yours. And it's also always looking at things from a different perspective, from a positive perspective. I personally only try to look at the positive in every situation. That is me. That is just me, you know.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to leave with my daughter. You
Alhamdulillah.
need to be positive in every situation, no matter what Allah has put in front of you. But you need to be positive about it, because there's always khair in every bad situation. This is what I believe. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So, who would you say it's really aimed towards? Is it for all types of women, or is it specific? Is it more kind of geared towards women once they're married, or just daughters in general?
No, I would say it's not. There's no particular age. The book itself has letters for when my daughter was growing up,
Right.
when she became a teenager, when she fell in love, when she got married, her initial marriage years. Then it also was like, if in the event, because I have been through a divorce, so I spoke about divorce also.
Okay.
I spoke about relationships with your mother-in-law, relationships with the family in general. So it's not aimed at any particular group of people. It's aimed generally at young girls, teenage girls, mothers. I would also even say fathers.
Okay.
Because a lot of single dads out there, they don't know what their daughters are going through at any particular moment.
Yeah.
You know, so it's generally a book for everybody. And also on the flip side of it, like somebody had asked me once if it's a religious book. It's got nothing to do with religion, because girls of all ages, of all nationalities, of all religions go through the same thing.
Yes, they do. Yeah, definitely.
You know? So it's meant for everybody. It's just basically meant for everybody.
Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. So is being an author something that you've always wanted to do?
To be honest with you, actually my dream job was to become a journalist, but Allah had other plans for me, so I became an educator. But it was always my passion to write. I love writing. I would find anything and I would just write about it and stuff like that. So it's something that has always been with me. But being an author, I dreamed of it. I did dream of it, and yes, it became a reality. With patience and perseverance, hard work, it became a reality.
Alhamdulillah, Allahumma barak, mashallah. So what would you describe as being your biggest challenge while writing this book?
You know, I won't even actually tell you there were much challenges, because topics came so freely. Because there wasn't a point where I had to sit down and think, what other advice could I give my daughter? Because in actual fact, there's still so much more that I could have written about. You know, but because when I looked at it and I asked around and I asked my friends and I asked young girls in relationships and in marriage, like, what are some of the things that you would have loved to know, or you still want to know, but you're too shy to ask out? You know, and topics came so freely, like, little topics came so freely that I was able to just expand on it and write about it. It was just there. I just had to ask, and I got it. Alhamdulillah. It wasn't like, something that I had to like really go down and research and things like that. It just came freely. As I mentioned, Allah knows best, because to be honest with you, sister, I went to Umrah a few years ago. And whilst in my Umrah, I made dua that, I do want to do this. I do want to write something. I do want to make my daughter remember me, and my daughter-in-laws remember me, and my granddaughters remember me in a way that is positive, And I left it there, and this is where I am now. So, yes, Allah knows best.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. So who would you describe as being your greatest supporters while writing this book?
I have many. First and foremost, my family, my daughter, my sons, they kept on pushing me on, you're going to do this, and my daughter-in-laws. Even my editor, she was, Fee, you can do this. Come on, you can do this. We've got that much more to do. We've got that much more to do. My editor being Nasrin Variava. And yes, so they were my greatest supporters. My friends and my colleagues at work, because I would write a raw script and I would say, just check this if this makes sense to you. just check it. Let it make sense to you. If it makes sense to you, then it's going to make sense to everybody else. So yes, I do have my colleagues at work, my personal friends, my family that motivated me and kept me going in this, So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. So where is your book available, sister? How can we get hold of it?
At the moment, it is on Amazon UK.
Mm-hmm. Is it paperback and Kindle?
Yes.
Okay, mashallah. Good.
So it is out there. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon India. At the moment, I've published myself. I've printed myself here in the UAE, and I've just sent printed copies down to South Africa. So it's also in South Africa right now.
Alhamdulillah.
That's where
Inshallah, we'll put the links to the book in the description so that people can easily get hold of it, because I think that it sounds like a really good book for everybody, basically, to have a read of it, especially in these times. Alhamdulillah.
It's not heavy reading. It's written in a simple language where a child can a young teenager will be able to read and understand, even an elderly person. It's not written in a language where the language is so difficult and so complicated that you can't understand it. It's written in just plain layman English,
Alhamdulillah. So especially for me then, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So what advice would you give to other sisters who also feel that they want to write a book, but they're kind of in the stages of doubt, or they don't think that they're an author? They wouldn't describe themselves as being a writer even.
To be honest with you, this book here has taken me places where I have never thought imaginable. By this book here, I have met lots and lots of women, and I'm actually now starting to be a life coach with the advice of this particular book. So I would say, everybody has a story to say. Everybody's story may seem similar, yet there are differences. So I would think, if whatever your story is, no matter what the story is, put pen to paper. Put it down. Put your thoughts down. It's not necessary that you have to give it to somebody. I used to tell this to my nieces and them sometimes. I say, sometimes you get so angry with everybody, or even with your parents. Note it down. Write it down. Read it and then just burn it. It's off your chest.
Yeah.
So all of us are carrying a lot of baggage, and we don't know how to get rid of this baggage. Put it to paper. You never know what could come out of it. I mean, look at this. I didn't expect it. It was just things that are there that I had written down for my daughter. It was just meant for her. But it's not going to benefit her. It's going to benefit a lot more people by just writing my thoughts down and my advice that this is how I look at life and this is what I want you to look at life, So just put it down there, put it pen to paper, and you'll be amazed at what comes out of it.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair, sister. That's amazing advice. And thank you so much for giving your time today, because I think the listeners will really have benefited, and definitely try to get get your hands, everybody, on this book, inshallah, and have a read. I'm going to try to get it as well myself. And do you know what? I think maybe later on it'll be worth doing, if you have read it, do some book reviews, and make sure you leave some book reviews for the sister as well on Amazon, inshallah.
I mean, there is another lady from the UK had ordered it, and she had also put up a review. And I think a few others people are still probably reading it and stuff like that. It's difficult when it's online and stuff. I'm not there personally to really give it out, but it is there. There is a book review there, and alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Jazakallah khair, sister, for your time today. And inshallah, yes, we hope to see more from you in the future.
Inshallah, definitely. Shukran so much for having me here. And please remember us in your du'as, Ameen.
You and for you, me too as well, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, sister. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.